this isn't live.
Did you hear about that guy?
No, it's not live.
Xbox gamer tag, Xbox turn-off.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
I read that whole story.
Paul,
That's funny as shit.
Paul,
The dude from
Aaron Paul.
yeah.
Yeah, that commercial. He's Xbox. He tells the Xbox what to do in the commercial. It plays as a pre-roll on a lot of online stuff on the Xbox One. So he is turning people's Xboxes on and off,
Right.
And do all kinds of stuff.
Just by having the commercial going.
That's funny as hell.
Fucking hilarious.
It's this day and age. You gotta learn how to these things kind of work.
Yeah. That's funny. Oh.
Welcome to the AK Exp. I'm Aaron.
I was gonna say I'm Chris, but
I'm Aaron Paul.
I don't know who I am.
No, I'm Chris too.
I don't know who I am
There you go.
anymore.
Welcome to the AK Exp Experience Points. Welcome to the AK Experience Points. I don't know how that works.
The AK experience points.
I've never done a welcome to the experience points. We just kind of started. Anyway, so we brought this guy on. This is Chris Ljunggren. Is that how you pronounce it?
Dude,
Close enough.
No, how do you pronounce it?
You're breaking my jam
It's
here.
spelled like
Is it Lundgren?
It's Ljunggren, but that's hard to
Ljunggren.
say.
Nope.
Ljunggren is fine.
okay.
You gotta do it the proper way.
No, it's not.
What do I gotta
Think
proper way.
Dolph
You gotta go
Lundgren.
AK XP. I'm Aaron.
Lundgren?
do? All right.
All right.
This is the AK
Think
XP.
Dolph
I'm Aaron.
He's Dolph Lundgren, and I'm Chris.
I'm a unicorn Parkinson's disease pleasuring a giraffe.
Whoa!
Nature's dildo. A unicorn.
I get it
Why do you have
because
to
it's
ruin
horny.
everything like
Yeah,
nipples
yeah,
and
Yeah.
unicorns?
Horny, shaking. All you need in life.
Oh God. Oh man.
All right, enough horsing around.
Yeah, Corey's on a tangent
man.
already.
No, but I brought this cat on here because I figured he might be able to help us settle an age-old argument,
Oh,
or not
God, what
not
is
even
this?
necessarily an age-old argument because it's kind of fresh. But he's a hardware guy. So
And he plays video games.
so he could probably give us the old down low on the
PS4.
Xbox One versus the PS4 hardware.
Welcome to the AK
Yeah, I'd like to hear him break this down because it seems
approach
almost
the mic
identical.
and break this down hardcore for us.
Well,
Approach the mic and break this down for us.
yeah.
Approach the mic.
Development's probably going to be a lot easier on the PS4 simply because they pushed really hard to get x86 architecture, which means programming it from the computer to run on the console's hardware is going to be very, very easy because they're both x86 architecture. Whereas before on the PS3, developers really hated coding for it because you had to map things to the different cores on the
Cell
processor.
processor. Was it the cell processor that made it difficult to build for that system?
Yeah, so
Okay.
essentially you could only fit in each core. For instance, one core was reserved for textures. So if you had a really big open map, the texture wouldn't fit in one core and you couldn't stream it like you could on the Xbox. So they had to completely either downscale the textures or completely remap the engine for certain cross-platform games. And that just gave everybody a big headache and pushed street dates back really, really far.
Yeah, because it's weird when you see ports of games and you're like, why does this suck so bad on here? And then because there were frame rate issues and you're thinking to yourself, wow, this PlayStation 3 is more powerful than an Xbox. Why is this?
Yep.
Can it not handle this frame rate? Like
Bad utilization, yeah, especially since they were restricted to the cell processor.
Okay.
So I've got a question
Which
for
would
you.
be good which would also be good for indie developers, and that might be why they could easily.
Yeah.
I have a question about the cell.
You don't have to
The
raise
cell
your
processor
hand,
was originally conceived to work with other cell processors. In Sony's eyes, was it not that they thought that the household appliances would have cell processors, and that the cell processor would work in conjunction with another cell processor and forming some kind of supercomputer mainframe? And in the same sense, that's why they had the folding at home thing when it launched with the PS3.
where it was like you could sit it on there and it was basically using the computer built into your PlayStation for research, wasn't that?
Something along those lines.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
interesting.
At the time, it was the cheapest 8-core processor that you could buy. Again, coding for it was a real nightmare, though.
Yeah.
It was a powerhouse if you specifically coded for it, but the method for doing so is really only held by the engineers that created it at Sony.
So basically, all these new consoles,
Which they
it's gonna
use
be
to
a
make
lot easier
PlayStation
than
Home.
before.
Yeah, so they're not restricted anymore for. Yeah, so they're not restricted anymore on the PS4 and the 360. The One. So cross-platform should not push any games back.
All right, and I've gotten a little bit more computer savvy recently, but what's the huge difference between DDR3 and DDR5?
Well,
Is there one? I guess.
you're probably thinking of GDDR, which on a video card, and actual DDR, which is what's in a computer. DDR4 actually just came out not too long ago, but not a lot of boards use it yet. GDDR5, and I think probably 6 now. There's a weird table for it, but I think GDDR3 is actually DDR2, and GDDR4 may also be DDR2 based. But
So
I'm
in
pretty sure
layman's
DDR
terms,
GDDR5 is DDR3 based. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, though.
all right. So layman's terms, what does that mean for?
It's just manufacturers trying to one up each other on the market.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just box
Well, then-
advertising.
Okay. Well, that
Okay.
makes sense. Thank God, because I was like, what's the difference?
So they're essentially the same.
Yeah, they've got faster clock speeds in the newer generation. So DDR3 is obviously going to have faster clock speeds than DDR2 quite a bit.
Oh,
So
it seems like I read those spec, comparisons or whatever, and it seemed like one of them said 5. one of
Over
them
and
said
over
3.
again, that's what's
Yeah.
considered like the one up whenever you review specs on the
That's-
PS4
Yeah.
versus the Xbox One. They're like, well, this one's got DDR5 in it, and this
Was it-
one's DDR3.
I mean, they both
It's-
got.
I never was a
Yeah,
Dance Dance Revolution fan in the first place. Whatever works this generation.
No, I'm not Dance Revolutioning any. I bet this man plays the shit out of some Dance Dance. Do you?
no comment.
He's a,
Are
you a-
he does. He's
are
like
you a
Nick
rock
Morgan.
revolution apologist?
He's like, did I break it? You just come over to his house and he's like fucking tearing it up. He's one of those guys. He acts so fucking modest. He's kicked my ass in a couple games. He's like, oh, I'm alright. And then I get on there and I'm like, this motherfucker's been playing this for like days straight. It's what were those guys calling it?
Assholes?
no, because
Oh,
I'm the
fucking
same
cunts.
way.
Okay.
No,
Elitist pigs?
dude,
Vulgarity. Hey, fuck it.
It's
I'm sorry.
okay. It's alright. He can't go a day without.
I can't go a day without
C
cursing.
word.
Oh, you want me to be less vulgar? Be boring, by all means.
Oh my god. Oh, see, you're
Fuck it.
can't comment through this.
Sorry, if your piece of conversation was worth remembering, you would have remembered it. So you're saying, sorry, about the DDR5.
Mm-hmm. So angry.
I
You're so
forgot where we were
angry.
going.
So earlier this afternoon, I got to see some like legit video gameplay of Evolve, and
Really?
we never mentioned that during any of the E3 episodes. Or
It was
whatever.
a known quantity coming in, so
Say the what?
we knew it. But we've seen a lot of it up until E3.
Right.
I mean, what they showed, I'd already heard and already had seen. So it's like it's still a good game, still awesome. I'm gonna sneeze.
You've been trying to sneeze for.
Brush here.
Don't you get my allergies on camera?
Get him like
Don't
right
you get
mid-
your allergies on her camera?
That's his microphone cover.
I think that's the one that you bit last time, Chris.
Oh, good. Great.
So it's just.
I'm
it's just-
remembering Leonardo. That's all I'm saying. But I mean, so
Keep talking. You're good. I'll be fine in a minute.
you got the hay fever or something.
No, but I'm like super excited for Evolve now. Like you like read about it, you see like some stuff about it, and that's all good and well. But like when you actually see like a 10-minute, 15-minute match, and you like get to really kind of see what each character's doing in it, it's pretty fucking
I watched
cool.
a bunch of other videos that we were talking about the other day, like that. I told you I watched that Rainbow Six video, and then I watched that Mortal Kombat one with all those different characters.
Somebody over there is excited for Rainbow Six.
I get slightly excited with Rainbow Six, but he said Mortal Kombat, and I just couldn't help myself.
Yeah.
You said
looks
Mortal
good.
Kombat. That's what got
That's a
them all
good-looking game,
excited
dude.
over there.
It looks, and they've got variants of each character. It almost reminds me of like Marvel vs. Capcom, because you got these different, like 3 different classes or whatever, and you can tell the differences in it, and even aesthetically, you can tell differences in the characters based on what they chose as far as variants go. And one of the characters was Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade's kid.
Yeah,
I was like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
We saw that character?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that character yet.
I just heard you talking
Connie
about
Cage,
it the other day.
I stopped consuming things. Like I don't want to know much more until I'm forced. I come across it.
Yeah, it's the character.
I don't want to know the characters.
The
When it comes to
roster
fighting games, I try to stay away from any character
I-
reveals.
I ran into that. Like, I ran into that a few times watching some of this E3 stuff. Like, because there's some games that I'm like so excited for, or like I think that I'm gonna love already without having to see it.
Like Fallout 4, I saw nothing about Fallout 4. I'm still excited for it.
Right.
Cast.
Well, as much as we
But if
check
it
on
came
shit-
out without releasing anything, you'd totally buy it and be like, oh, cool. I'm glad that
It's like watching
I'm glad
every
I didn't
Red
watch
Band
anything
trailer
because
for a
I
movie
don't
Like
and it
Wolfenstein.
comes out,
I know
all the
nothing about
fucking
Wolfenstein.
jokes, and
Right.
I knew shit about Wolfenstein. I thought it was just I didn't know. I didn't know what
Right.
Wolfenstein was like.
Have you beaten
the
that
only
yet?
thing that we
I
knew,
beat it like
yeah,
before Aaron
Okay.
did.
yeah, we beat it.
Oh god,
We beat it.
You beat me
No,
five.
I beat-
You me in about 5 minutes, man. You piece of fuck.
Yeah,
You
me
beat
and
it
him
5
were like
minutes
at the.
before him?
Me and him were sitting there messaging each other as we were playing through Wolfenstein, and I was like,
fuck this boss!
we were on the same boss.
Yeah, it's
And then,
not.
and
It's not
then,
easy.
Hitler
and
in
then
a
you were
mech.
like, I'm
Please
stuck
tell
on
me it
this
was
fucking
Hitler in a
part.
mech.
Say the what?
Was it Hitler in a mech?
No.
No.
Damn it!
there were some really similar parts to
Yeah.
that. There were some good throwbacks.
Man,
to
looking back, that looked good. That whole fire and smoke and all that room looked nice.
Yes.
Also made it very hard to beat that guy because he hides in the smoke after a while.
Yeah.
Now I
No.
want to see what that.
Well,
Where there's
no,
smoke, there's fire.
It wasn't
Oh my
right.
God,
That's them.
Sorry, but
it
derailed
really-
everything.
But it really was because when you're trying to like get through that part, the hard part was not catching on fucking fire.
That was my biggest problem with that. I die so fast. I'm just here running, tapping E to pick up wherever the fuck I can, just shooting him with everything. Then
There you
catching
go.
on fire and dying. When he's like, I know he's
When all else fails, to load everything you have in your clip at it.
But you didn't want to use up all your ammo because the game didn't. You'd be fucked. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
That game is not
shoot
generous
that
with
guy.
pickups.
If
No,
he goes
it's
into
not.
some action where he's
It
hurt, then I
seems
wait
like
and
it
I shoot
because
again.
you've got pickups the whole fucking time, but then it's not generous, like you said. like the pickups are small clips. You're like, oh cool, I got 10
8
bullets for an
bullets, yeah.
assault rifle.
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, I'm out.
That Thompson became irrelevant real quick.
What's up?
That Thompson, not what I was.
Except my other monitor. What happened to that thing?
It's right here.
Okay, yeah, I was just making.
I didn't sell it on eBay yet.
I thought I left it. He was like, wait, what the fuck did he do with my
Yeah,
shit?
no, not gone yet.
You motherfucker.
I broke it in drunken rage.
eBay transaction ID 4693602. No minimum bid.
Bet poem.
I don't trust you. I probably do sell bitcoins, Doge coins as well.
Doges.
Doges.
Hey,
Doges.
do you know anything about Bitcoins?
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me?
Is it worth investing in?
Probably. You probably are right.
Is it because
Just look at his eyes. Kind
you can use that shit for a lot of things now.
Yeah, so this is the age-old argument with Bitcoins. The problem is the difficulty increases so rapidly that to actually be able to get coins, you have to keep putting money back into coins. And until you can actually find a way to transfer your Bitcoins into real American currency, I know there's some ATMs in Canada now where you can withdraw up to like $500.
That's not
a day, I
America,
think, or
though. That's Canada.
Right, yeah.
The
So until they
Can
can
you
do
buy in
something like
Canada?
that in America,
have to buy the health syrup.
you're kind of fucked because you're putting in real money to buy these Bitcoin miners, these Terra, what are they called? Terra coins or something like that. These really big monitors. I've dealt with a couple of them before. They'll make you money for a while, but it's going to cost you a couple $1,000 just to get into it right now as it stands. It used to be before you could just have a video card and mine coins, but it's not really that way anymore. But
Wait, no, just hold on.
This confuses the shit
How-
out of me. I'm gonna be honest.
What is the act of mining bitcoins? What do you do to mine?
so basically, it's there's a hash. Your computer is basically racing every other computer in the world to devise the next hash in the string. And if you get the hash, you get so many number of bitcoins, and those are yours to keep. Now, for your machine to claim the Bitcoin, you have to authenticate through, I think, 3 sort of master servers that hold the entries for it. And that way...
You're spiraling out of control here.
Okay.
What's
He's spiraling
hash?
out of control here.
Hash. Define what is a hash?
It's not pot.
Yeah,
marijuana.
So internet pot.
basically, yeah. Spend a lot of money and then
It has nothing to do with Twitter.
So what is the hash that your server, that your computer is trying to race to get? What is the hash?
You're basically just guessing at an infinite number of certain amount of characters. I don't know exactly how long it is, but it's random characters and numbers and stuff like that. And
what benefit does that do?
Yeah, what does that? Why?
nothing. There's no benefit.
But there's actually people that invest in like the stock of Bitcoin though.
Well, they're not technically investing in the stock. Really, a Bitcoin has zero value
because there's nothing that's backing it.
Right.
Like a gold standard.
Right.
Because it's not real.
There's absolutely it's not real money.
Literally just digital.
So some dude's an asshole and he's worth a lot of money now, basically.
Yeah.
Well, that guy who made Doge coins, remember? Like, he's actually he bought a house off that, didn't he?
Who was it? Did you read about that one country getting screwed on like a couple $100 million worth of Bitcoin?
America
or something? It was some Asian country, and they were like
Asia, that country.
I said some Asian country.
I know. I'm saying Asia.
It's a continent, you douche.
I know that. I'm not a female hydrogen peroxide.
What? I'll get you a sippy cup for that, you dick. Oh my god, yeah, I still that explains.
You phallic bitch.
I listen to everything you said. Now,
so inherently, there's no value to a Bitcoin. Those hashes don't do anything for the real world. It's just, I guess, owning a piece of history. So
really,
that's why the government doesn't really see it as a real currency.
So long as the internet doesn't crash, though, everybody's good.
Yeah, or until something gets hacked. I think Litecoin was you can't farm a Litecoin with a regular Bitcoin miner because it's got a different algorithm that you have to calculate. And someone actually hacked the Litecoin server, and so that dropped the value almost down to nothing.
Damn. Yeah, I would. Yeah, that doesn't sound like something I want to invest in if I can't understand what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, dude, I got like 40 Bitcoins. I'm rich as hell. I got several $1,000s. Well, no, you've got monopoly money until you can actually turn it into real money. The problem is you have to keep putting your real money out of your pocket into buying new hardware every couple months.
So it's monopoly money. So on Family Game Night, you're rich as shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hasbro's got it long down on lock, man.
But do you get to collect 200 when you pass go?
Hey,
God.
I think you
can't put a price of fucking over grandma at any point in your life.
I think you get 50 coins for every hash you find. Don't quote me on that. But a lot of people do pooling. So what it is you join a pool, and as soon as your pool hits a coin, it divides it into how many people and how much hash time you've put into.
Is this like Monster Rancher? You put in a CD, and then a random monster is generated, and like maybe it's an awesome amount of Bitcoin, or maybe it's just like a regular 1 Bitcoin. And
I still don't understand what in the fuck is going on. I've read numerous articles, I've read numerous things, and I still don't understand how that has any relevance to real money.
Do you even wiki?
I just don't.
Wiki. Yeah, I Will Smith quite often, actually.
Like, I want to understand it, but it's God. That's taken a lot of time to try and understand that. That's one hell of an interesting thing. I don't know.
It's gas, really.
Oh.
Yes.
So, I mean, do you see any big difference, like, in the future as far as the hardware on Xbox One and PlayStation 4? Do you see? I mean, how long down the road do you see?
Right, can it last 10 years like this last console generation, or will it last longer than 10 years?
9 years.
Well, I think
9.
A big problem that's plaguing games right now is they spend too much time on graphics and not enough on gameplay and story.
Oh.
You like Battlefield 4.
I'm a crisis guy.
Hey, but to PlayStation's defense, and I guess Xbox or Live Arcade's defense in the last generation, I would say they put a big investment in indie games. Not so much I'd call them indie games anymore now that they're on the big stage, but by budgeting standards, they $15 games that
downloadable arcade games, basically.
Yes, downloadable arcade games. But as I was trying to say, is that they're rich in like creativity in a different direction, Towerfall, and not so much the Turtles in Time remake or something like that. Some dumb half-coined.
I
mean, that's been the big argument with us recently is we've been so surprised with the Nintendo Wii and, Wii U, whatever. And it's just been a lot of fun comparatively to some of these other things. We've been stuck on that shit, dude. And and before we all were like, fucking Wii.
No, and you were right to say fucking Wii up until now.
Right.
Yeah, because honestly,
me and Corey had this conversation the other night. Like,
I owned it day one. one. And I tell you one thing about owning that thing day one. There was no reason to own it day one when it came
The
out.
same as any new console that comes out.
All you had was that shit Super Mario Brothers Wii game.
Yeah, that was half-assed. No,
Sorry,
the
Sam.
original Wii had the Zelda Twilight Princess at launch, and that was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Would you play Skyward Sword?
Didn't like Twilight Princess.
I'm actually playing it on my Wii U.
I know.
Going back and playing it because
I didn't like Twilight
What do you think of
Princess.
I like it, but there's a lot of revisiting places you've been to.
Have you
Like
played
in other games?
No, nothing like this before. This is the first time where you've had to go back, and it sort of like bullshits you. It's like, oh, by the way, the monsters here are stronger now than when you were last time.
That's what they were saying about it, that they praised about it. They were saying, like, it's open
Who's
world.
they? Is it IGN again?
It wasn't just IGN.
IGN's apologist for Nintendo.
IGN's an apologist for whoever will dish out the most money.
Podcast Beyond. Sorry. Fucking
Thank you,
cunts.
Greg Miller.
That guy.
so angry today.
Fuck their
It's
shit,
alright,
man.
it's okay.
We don't do
What
this
happened
for
to
money.
fuck you, Game Informer? Why don't
I
we
still
just-
feel that way. Fuck you, Game Informer.
They
I
gave,
still-
what was that game we all didn't like that came out recently? Besides Watch Dogs.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Which this guy is like a walking Watch Dogs, apparently.
Say to what?
This guy right here is like a fucking... he knows everything. It
Oh,
scares
yeah.
me.
No, he probably has a cell phone that can hack a
Are you
street
Alex
light.
Mercer? Are you the watchdog? I have a bandana somewhere. I saw it earlier. You can use it.
You don't get the black one if you pre-order.
God, that game was stupid as shit.
What'd you think of it?
As soon as it let me out into the open world, I kind of just sat outside my apartment and hacked everyone that was walking by because I was afraid. I was
So
gonna
you turned the
miss,
game
like,
off and went
secret.
outside your own apartment. Is that what you're saying? I'm being funny. I'm saying that you are a hacker and you are
Yeah.
hacking them with your
Yeah.
cell phone because you have that ability as well.
Right.
Isn't that a little far fetched though? Even like in the somewhat near future, someone with the ability to hack anything, but just
I don't think that's
No.
what it is.
Not everything's tied into the same thing.
well, in their future, the CTOS thing is like everybody is tied into that same network.
Not
That's how it gets fired
necessarily.
or some shit.
Yeah, I don't think they'd ever make a centralized database sort of system like that. But actually, Hyundai, I think who it is they have a box that you put in your car. I don't think they're going to release it publicly, but it can check the radio signals of the traffic lights around you, and it'll show you approximately how many seconds until the light turns green or the light turns red. And based on your speed, it'll tell you if you need a break or if you can make it through without having to slow down.
You know, that's
Which is kind of a tie to the whole smart cars that can drive themselves or whatever, and
Right.
and maybe an emergency type system that's like, actually this light's red, I'm stopping.
That's funny because that's what creates a bunch of bumper to bumper traffic. Because originally, the interstate system was made by the Germans, I think, and it was based off of, I think, molecules, like in some enclosed thing, and basically them bouncing off of each other is supposed to simulate cars in a traffic jam. But it causes more because people will speed up to try and get through a light, then they all cluster. But if you had one of those things, like traffic would be smooth. If everybody had one of those, that would
I
be
just
so
want to be able to
badass.
sleep on the way to work. Like, I want to be able to get into my car,
Get out of your
and be
car.
like, okay, cool, all right, just wake me up when I get there. I want that to fucking happen.
But apparently, yeah, the traffic lights will actually transmit wirelessly their timing
That's so
patterns.
badass.
So I guess theoretically now you could.
so that you don't run into a red light and then a red light and then a red light. Maybe you might hit all greens.
No, so you could have your phone or it's just some
Well,
device.
I mean, at
that
least
just
have it
change
on
all the
Kind of
lights
like the
green.
button that's supposed to work on the side of the road.
Yes.
That's like, hey, I want to cross now.
Right.
Never works.
Yeah, no, that's because that's fake. That's a fucking comfort device.
Yes, I totally agree with you there.
That is to make people feel like they're in control of their own lives.
Have you seen the Key and Peele skit on that?
No,
Where he walks up and he presses the button and they're sitting there for like 5 or 10 seconds and he's like, the other dude, like, because Keel presses it, then Key presses it, and then Peel walks up or whatever. He's like, so, you press the button? He's like, yeah. He's like, I just pressed it. And he's like, well, it's been a second. He's like, and he goes to play, goes, you do not take this away from me. He's like, I pressed that button. He's like, well, I just want to make sure. He's like, don't you fucking do it. Like, you just have to see it, dude. It's ridiculous. He gets all
Alright.
upset about
Right,
pressing
dude.
the button.
yeah, I missed that one.
No, it's funny as shit. But they just stand.
It does sound. I'm not being a smartass. I'm not always a smartass.
It's hard to tell.
Anyway, going back to your hardware question, I think either NVIDIA or ATI, I think maybe ATI, said that they've got a
Those
budget.
are the only two companies that exist.
Yeah, I
right?
don't remember which one it was though. One of them's got a budget video card that's more powerful than the Xbox One coming out.
Really?
a budget video card. So like $60, $70 range.
Nice. Well, I mean, hell, there's already tons of PCs that are better.
This man just. What did you get? Tell Chris what you got.
Yeah.
Tell him what you
I'm
got.
not talking about
Tell him what you got.
What'd you get?
What'd you get? Tell him what you get.
Why did it?
it. Was
Just tell it.
Well, I can't remember now. Was it 7800, I guess?
I think it was.
Yeah, it's just 7800.
You got an
That's like 7 different video cards.
Yeah, no. Pick one.
7800 series.
Is it EVGA or some shit like that?
Yeah, but like
That's the brand.
I don't remember.
78.
I want to say it was a 750.
No,
No.
it was a 780. 780.
It was 7.8 something.
780. 780 Ti.
Oh, NVIDIA.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
780.
I said NVIDIA. I was like, yes. What more do you want to know from me? It was
No,
NVIDIA.
no, you said
780.
780
That's all I know.
Ti.
No, you said
Plug and
7800.
play, goddammit. It's all I know
He
what to
did.
do.
That's a very different thing.
You said 7800, which is ATI. 780.
A 780 Ti.
titanium. Okay.
I meant to say 780. God damn it. I'm so
Say,
sorry.
So what's
very, very high end.
That's a nice card, yeah. That's
Yeah.
a very nice card.
is there any one card that just
It's the
trumps?
size of my arm. It's just massive.
Yeah. 780 Ti. They've got the new Titan, the Titan 2 coming out.
See, I was underneath the Titan and I didn't buy it.
Well, see, the Titan 1 is actually, it came out during 7 Series, but it's actually two 680s, I believe. So older generation.
God, this shit,
But
it gets ridiculous. It's like they just
Yeah.
put these names on it with the same shit.
Yeah.
And I was seeing something about like chips or or something to where they'll take something and try to make like the best out of it, and if they fail or something, they'll just have one uniform thing and just take half of the technology out of it and make it like a downgraded version. basically.
Yeah, they do that with yeah, so the casting machine can sometimes miss and fuck it up, and so they'll just disable the cores. I'm trying to remember.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. See, he knows exactly.
Yeah.
But then they just sell it as
As
they
the
just put
lower
a new-
version product.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they just put another number on it, and they're like, "Well, it's not fucked up. It's just not that."
right.
You know,
exactly.
and it's like, all right.
They do it with hard drives too. When it's being calibrated by the machine says, okay, this has so many hours until it fails. If it's kind of low, it's just a regular label. They slap it on. If it's really high, they'll put a black label for Western Digital or, whatever, Barracuda or whatever for Seagate.
Ooh,
the higher end label on it.
Barracuda. So, I mean,
So
honestly,
you're buying the same shit. It's just better made or luckier made.
that's interesting. That's just a weird thing to think about. But, I mean, I guess at the end of it, what's out of the two, who are you picking? Is what I'm saying.
It really comes down to library. I mean, it's like having a palette of paint. It doesn't really matter.
Drum roll. Pick out what you think.
I was more of a fan of the 360 than the PS3, but I think I'm probably going to side with the PS4.
Wasn't that early in console?
It took so long to get to that point.
My fingers
That's-
hurt, man.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is like
They do.
early on you had Xbox Live, which is that's what got people into Xbox.
No, I never bought
Okay.
that. That shit was $14 a month. No, thank you.
See, and it's
Which
I
one?
found it ridiculous.
Xbox Live.
Xbox Live, but PlayStation
I
Network
still pay
was
for
free.
my
It's
Xbox
gotten-
Live, and
think
I don't
it's
even
gotten so
fucking
much
get on it.
better,
I think my mom
too.
still does.
And
Like
that's
when I was 14.
I don't know. I haven't been on Xbox Live.
I've had that shit for a long time,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It's been like 10, well, more than 10 years.
Speaking of which, with PS4, there was a bug where when you put in your 14-day free trial, there was an advertising banner for 7-day free trial. And right when you got done with the registration, you could actually click on that banner and get 7 days. And when you're done with that, click on the banner and get 7 days, 7 days, 7 days.
I remember that.
So there's a guy that's, I don't know if they took it away from him, but he's got free Xbox Live up till like 2023 or something.
Sweet. Well,
I'm sorry, PSN.
Yeah.
PSN
Right.
access until 2023.
How about PSN and its easy exploits or whatever? What happened a couple of years ago? Where they got fucked up real bad?
Oh, yeah, they got the
The hack.
database hacked, yeah. That seems to be happening to a lot of people, though.
Yeah, Target.
God damn it.
My credit card got messed with because of that fucking shit.
There's a bunch
Oh, $1,000 got drawn out? I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
of right.
No, I'm not rich enough to shop at Target. That's a high-class joint.
You smoke?
A high class joint. You can get that in Colorado.
Oh, that's the only AAAs I like. It's that. AAA weed. So. What are you so invested in over here? It's constantly. It's like a chick at a basketball game.
Is there a chick in a basketball game or a basketball uniform?
See
or
my
a
private.
cheerleader?
See my Let's leave my private life private.
I'm Batman. See, I can't tell if he's serious right now.
No, I'm very serious
He's
now.
dead serious.
Let's not talk about my shit in front of a microphone. America.
Drew Carey, every time I see him now, he just freaks me out. I don't know what it is about that guy. It's just that I don't know. I'm used to
Because I
fat
think
Drew
he's
Carey.
screaming internally for like a donut. He's like, I want to eat. What?
He does. That's freaky weird. Yeah, he does. Oh, it's like what's his
Hank
name?
Hill.
The dude from Blues Traveler. Ever since he's not fat anymore, it weirds me out.
How many times have you seen Up?
I have never watched.
I
Up
watched
all
it
the way
probably
through.
15 times.
Do you know what his profession is, the old guy?
Balloon blower?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he sold balloons.
He had a fucking house
That's
in New
some
York
shit.
City.
That's how he knew so much about balloons.
Really?
Because during the sort of quick montage of their
Wait.
life, he sells balloons at the zoo, and that's where I think.
Who the fuck
That's
doesn't know
his
that?
career?
Yeah, he sells balloons.
Who didn't know that?
Me?
It's like right in the montage. Like,
Yeah, I didn't pick up.
Oh, it's right in the montage.
It's right in the montage.
Just
For like 2
read
seconds,
into
it
that
shows him
fucking-
handing a balloon to a kid, but he's got the cart, and he like.
Yeah, but I didn't never like put that together. I was just didn't even think they alluded to his job or gave a shit.
Yeah.
I know that
I have
in the-
no connection.
I want to say that 15-minute montage was the best movie.
I'm about to smack him inside the fucking head. I could feel the air from his hands just right behind me.
I was
You don't know what
going-
he was saying?
I was trying to blow a balloon. I was saying mad respect right here. Right here.
Both you and Aaron.
I just kept picturing like old W.
No more Generation X up in this motherfucker. Limp Bizkit is no good.
We are Generation X, mother. Are we or are we Y? Are we X or Y?
I have no idea.
We're X.
80 was the last X.
Yeah, so we're Y.
We're X.
No, we're Y.
We're 80.
87,
No, 80.
man.
88.
81, you're not X anymore.
Really?
Yeah, we're Generation Y.
Generation.
Dude, I studied marketing
Wow,
for like
that's
4
the
years.
real-
We're Generation Y.
I wasn't
Generation
laughing
happened.
at you. I'm just saying that's.
We're the internet generation, which makes perfect sense.
Information age.
There you go.
Why in the wave? What is it? Was it internet wave?
And then it was Generation Emo.
Oh God. Oh
And then there's the elitist stage, the entitled age.
man, it just still trips me out. Like,
Call
now.
of Duty elitist age.
no Call of Duty. I'm done with it. Dude, I was looking at something the other day, and it said the entire library for NES, like foreign and domestic, could fit on one SD card. Now,
Easily.
like 40 something, like 46 times.
I think there's 800 and something NES games.
And like, what kind
Yeah.
of memory would that kind of game take up?
A couple kilo. I mean, it's 800 megabytes.
A
Without
PS2 memory card.
clones and stuff, it's about 800 megabytes, which is
Yeah.
it's a little bit more than what a CD can hold, one compact disc.
Wow,
So you can fit it multiple times on a DVD.
that's cool. And then 7 more multiple. I'm gonna be God, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Super,
mean,
Super Nintendo roughly fits on one DVD.
What?
the entire catalog.
It's so crazy when you just like sit there and look at it and like see a graph about it. It trips me out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about
And-
how big was our big PlayStation 2 memory card? With like 32
I think you
megabytes?
probably just reached the question I want to ask.
Well, how many NES games can fit on a cassette tape?
Okay, never mind.
Well, actually, no, because there used to be a lot of video games you used to play on cassette tapes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can record them on the.
Really?
They had the whole rewritable thing back, at least in Japan, I know. They had a hard floppy disk, for the Famicom disk drive.
Yeah, I
And
think
I remember
Is there
seeing
such
that.
thing as a hard floppy disk?
it was called a hard disk, but it's actually a floppy. And a floppy disk is actually a hard. You know that. The 3.12 megabyte little hard disk is actually called floppy disk.
I was being
And hard
on the
disk
edge of
is called
something else.
floppy disk. Those big fuckers. You could probably kill somebody.
Hey,
with it.
baby, I'd like to show you my hard floppy disk.
Let me show you how hard I can.
I'm just trying to think. Like, so.
Fear my flop?
Come see my hard drive. Hope you can process what I've got.
it just. I don't.
I'll just ram it in there.
Come back to my house. I'll show you some of my DDR.
What does that? What would that even stand?
I don't know. Dance Says Revolution.
Quagmire would
Math
say
skills.
gigabytes.
Giggity bytes.
Gigabytes?
Giggity bytes.
Wow.
Who was it? That...
Quit bringing MMOs in here, man.
No.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask. To back it on up, and still be talking about bytes and shit.
Back that up. Back
Why
that
the
data
Why
up.
the fuck did games just go from being like 5 gigabytes to goddamn 50?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Mega textures.
Do you know the answer to that?
Mega
Fucking
textures.
Titanfall was goddamn
Mega
50
textures.
gigabytes.
Right. To make it load faster, you don't compress textures, or you don't compress them very much.
Mega textures.
And then also for surround sound audio, you don't want to compress that either, or else you lose a big part of the spectrum. So they leave it in a slightly less compressed.
It is called mega texture. That's what it's called. Mega textures. Apparently, from what I've understood so far, why these games are big.
Sure.
Well, from the standpoint of id, most id games, such as id Tech 5, they are technically called mega textures. That's why the games are so big. Wolfenstein, especially, is evident of that.
Wolfenstein wasn't goddamn.
Yes, it was. Yeah, and so was Rage. Rage was a very big game too.
Well,
because they were trying to go for that loadless mentality or whatever, but it just looks like shit and pisses me the fuck off.
They're really into also doing a lot of like non-playable characters that talk to each other. So there's a lot of extra audio clips and sound effects and stuff like that. That takes up a lot of room when you don't compress it. You make it work for surround sound.
So, in other words, games took a big jump into being bigger, but we didn't see much of a payoff at all.
Yeah. So, for instance, a lot of the games come on Blu-ray, which can hold 40 gigs or whatever for double layer.
Is it single layer?
I think single layer is 20 gigs. Double layer is 40. Something like that.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of fucking memory on a disc.
Yeah.
But not enough.
Well, I mean, most games don't even take up the whole disc.
Well, if you're talking about Wolfenstein, I mean, the fucking 50 gigs of my fucking hard drive is gone now because of the damn video game. That's a lot of fucking gigs.
Titanfall had like how many discs with it?
Titanfall had 4 discs.
It's just funny seeing all these 4-disc games again because we were down to single
You got it.
CDs.
You downloaded it all. You got it.
Titanfall had 4 discs.
You gotta
it had one mode. That's insane.
You gotta take into account too the video cutscenes.
5 modes now. It used to be 7.
The cutscenes in between the games for like the storyline and stuff like that, they don't compress that either. They try and make it 1080 so it looks good, which that takes up a lot of space too.
What about this whole 4K jump?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Isn't that 1080? Isn't that 1080p, but just with a fancy turn on top of it? It's not really. It's not truly HD. I knew HD. It's just HD.
It's actually double 1080p.
Right. That's why it's
what they do is you've got 1920 by 1080, and then when you double it, it's actually
and you're talking resolution,
right? 4K is actually only double that. It's not quadruple as it sounds. It's sort of a marketing gimmick. The problem is, you would.
When is it truly HD?
I don't know. Can you put shit on the screen?
Yep.
Okay, so you've got 1920 by 1080. That's the resolution. Then 720 is 1366 by 720, I believe. So you're always taking
1360.
Sorry, it's 1366.
No, there's 2 because
the proper one is
1366 probably
by 720. Yeah,
because I have 1360.
Yeah. So you take the secondary number, and that gives you roughly what you're looking at: 720 or 1080, and then 480, which is 640 by 480, which a regular TV uses is 480. But with 4K, you're actually getting the first number out of the sequence. It's 1920 doubled instead of 1080 doubled. So to make it sound better, they're doubling the 1920 to make it sound like 4K. Now, that sounds like a bullshit marketing move, but actually movie theater projectors are 16 by 10 or 17 by 9, something like that, and that's technically 3K.
So is it basically getting twice the amount of pixels, or is it just...
Yeah, the pixel density jumps up really high. Now, there's no content for it yet.
Well,
I don't think. I mean, YouTube's got a couple of videos that were shot in 4K.
You can buy a 4K Hero 3 now.
No, you can buy Blu-ray Blu-rays too. Like they've released a lot of movies in 4K.
Yeah, but they're probably upscaled.
Oh, definitely.
Problem.
They're definitely
not shot in 4K.
Nothing.
What about Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Rings probably was shot in 4K. That most recent one, and The Hobbit. Or what was that?
Oh, cool! I get to watch this shitty fantasy movie in 4K.
I'm not saying that it was a good movie. I'm saying that it.
I'm gonna talk for 40 minutes about some shit fucking fantasy lore, then we're gonna sort of fight with shits. No gore.
For one whole episode.
We're gonna walk for 2 more episodes. No,
hours.
2 episodes.
2 hours of walking.
You shall not pass. The only thing I took away from this shit movie. I'm better as Magneto.
You shall pass all
this movie. Yeah. You shall not sit through 7 endings.
Dad fell asleep in like the King, the second Lord of the Rings.
Lion King. Yeah, I fell asleep in that too. God is in God.
I didn't fall asleep in the second Lord of the Rings. I walked out of it.
Oh, that's right. You were falling asleep when you walked out.
Me and my dad. And me and my dad don't go and fucking see movies together. And me and him both.
Because of this.
No, just
Son,
normally.
remember the time we saw Lord of the Rings? Fuck you for taking me.
Cool, let's go see this fucking thing together. Never fucking do anything together. Get in there, and both of us, not even an hour through, went, you want to... Yeah. Okay. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they don't bond anymore because of Lord of the Rings.
No, that was a bonding moment. We were like, fuck this movie. And then we both got up and fucking left.
Your equal hatred for
I'm
Lord
sorry I
of the
married
Rings
your
brought you
mother.
closer together. Tolkien still changing lives.
This Father's Day, get your father a copy of Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. Then you can shoot it. What a better bonding moment than something that broke you guys apart.
Oh, dude, I actually watched The Lion King the other day. It's funny that you said something about that. And I'm realizing more and more that I think
Who, Snoop Dogg? He is the Lion King now.
Oh, God. No, I'm just talking about, like, if you look at some of these Disney movies, I'm realizing more and more, I think they might do a good job with Star Wars. Really, I think they're going to do it right.
Did they do Clone Wars?
No.
Who did that?
That George Lucas asshole.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
The cartoon one.
Have you seen all?
No, they didn't do that.
That wasn't Disney. That was fuck. But
Lucas-
those
Lucas
Clone
Films.
Wars, those Clone Wars.
The show is badass.
Pretty
Pretty
awesome.
cool.
I love it. Have you seen the one with Darth Maul and his brother?
I haven't seen any of them.
You haven't seen any of them? That one's bad. It gives you finally get an idea of
Are
how
you a Star
powerful-
Wars nerd? Like, I mean, you.
Yeah, the original 3.
Yes.
The original 3.
Yes.
And you watch the newer ones, and you're like, meh. I'm assuming. Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
That's how I feel about it.
Like, the more that I watched the one that I liked the most, episode 3, the more I realized I just liked it the most because it was the most
Because it
tolerable of
sucked.
them.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. It's exactly how I feel about when I bought the Blu-ray set a while back and I started watching from the very first episode.
The CGI in the first one's horrible.
Yeah, well, you know, it's different
it
age.
was made extra horrible in Blu-ray.
Yeah, it looks even worse.
No, you're right.
And
You're like, oh, Jar Jar Binks is...
we don't speak of Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks! Sorry.
He is the one to not be
Take you
named.
Oh, it's a Misa. Miso sorry, BB Jar Jar Binks.
Sorry, that's
Miso
your-
sorry.
God, why? Who thought that was a good idea?
This
Well,
time-
they thought it would be like a C-3PO...
But everyone
type
hates
character.
C-3PO.
Fuck C-3PO, puss
I'm
ass.
sure it scored really high
Cockney British
in the soccer
accent
mom
robot.
demographic. Because that was like my mom's favorite part.
What was Jar Jar Binks?
Yes.
Man.
They probably put that to get like
Back
women
before
in there.
Facebook could reveal to people that kind of shit was... Like, Facebook is so great now because, like,
Is it?
morons get to like get on it or Twitter or Instagram, whatever the new social media is these days. They get to get on it and be
Snapchat.
like, oh, what I thought was cool is actually
Show me your
retarded.
penis, I'll show you
I'm
mine.
not going to mention that to anybody. I'm going to keep that pocket.
Oh, dude. I just... if you notice in the first one, Yoda's a puppet. He's like a puppet. Or like, he's not CGI rendered. And then the second 2 movies... he looks completely different at CGI. Like, it's not even close to what he looked like. I don't know. It just...
Yeah. I mean,
horrible.
in the episode 2, he did some really great puppet-like shit with doing backflips and laser swords. And
Well, you know what I'm saying.
I know, but
is
it's
that you
like-
couldn't do that.
the only reason they did that was because he was so stationary always. Like, well, you know, it'd be really crazy.
Okay,
if Yoda
but-
did some backflips and
But
shit.
it's fucking dumb because the contrast and when you look at them from
Oh,
one
yeah,
to the
I know.
other is completely
Get
different.
it with a grain of salt. You know?
Not gonna lie, that scene was fucking awesome.
It was when
Yeah,
he
I
fought the Emperor.
Yeah.
You know, there are things that I will take
He
from
caught that big ass pillar. He's like,
I like
"Get the shit out of
I like that last bit of episode 2, like the whole little
Which part?
war they had. In
Yeah,
Clone
that's,
Wars.
I mean, there's
It was cool.
moments.
And if you watch the Clone Wars to follow it,
Yeah, the whole it set a pretty cool universe, like the whole like untold story when he's like teenage years and things like
are
that.
you into something fantasy?
It's
Star Wars is fantasy; it's not sci-fi.
I know. We've
But-
had this conversation, but are you into this?
Oh no, it had
Are
pew
you
pew
into
lasers
something?
and stuff, and it had Han Solo. Man, I couldn't. That's like my. My homie. I couldn't say the other words.
Han Solo's your homie.
But I always liked that, you know. But I'm not a huge Star Wars fan in the first place.
So I wonder in the Star Wars universe if
I'm a Matrix fan.
if Hey Baby, Let Me Show You My Lightsaber was about as dumb as
Lightsaber on.
I wonder if that was about as dumb as Are You from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see. I wonder if that was overused that way, or any of the angel pickup lines.
Hey, baby.
They killed most of the Jedis.
Hey, baby, you coming home with me? Or am I going to have to go Han Solo? Or is this Han going solo?
And I was watching.
Hey baby, I'd like to force you into my bed.
Oh God. I was watching. They brought up a good point in the last Family Guy thing when he's talking.
Sorry. I'm a Jedi in the streets, a Sith in the sheets.
They'd have to be a stormtrooper to put up with you.
Oh. Okay, and another thing. Two more points I want to make.
Let me see your dark side.
Aren't all the stormtroopers supposed to be clones? So then how are they all different types?
After you get with me, you'll be seeing Death Stars.
Oh,
Woo! I'm gonna Darth Maul that pussy.
Oh my God! I thought I heard as many Star Wars jokes as I could for the year, but no.
break it. That fine. Stop it. You're gonna keep going.
It's okay, Corey. It's alright. But if you notice, like, the end, and it brings up a good point in Family Guys, he's sitting there wearing Han Solo's jacket. Lando
I'd like
Calrissian
to
is wearing his
invade
clothes.
Vader space.
I'm just gonna let you two do your Star Wars thing. I'll just do your thing.
Turn me down. Shit, Revenge of the Sith. Out. I tried.
Just keep sifting through those. You'll find a good one.
I'm Sarlacc in here.
Oh God. Was that a Sarlacc pit reference? Oh my God.
You're gonna say one that's gonna make me want a Millennium
Thank you.
Falcon punch your ass.
Really?
I'm just gonna turtle over the other. The Chris is just.
When did you think of that one?
When I was skywalking.
Oh! Oh, I'm gonna invade her.
I used that already!
Invade? I said invade. Vader. Okay, alright.
Yeah.
Alright. Wow. Wow.
Alright, so Xbox off on that note.
Oh, wow.
Now
I'm gonna lay it down on that
I'm
one.
gonna destroy you guys.
What'd you say?
I'm gonna lay it down on that one.
You've been laying down forever.
For the right price, yeah.
Alright, let's get Chewbacca to this podcast.
Chewbacca? Nobody gets Chewbacca.
There we go. That was a good one. I'll stop.
This happens every time.
This is a good carbon night, you know?
Oh my God. I don't even know what the hell we're talking about anymore. Somebody else go in your own
Xbox off.
Yeah.
We need to Lando this ship, okay?
So come see us at Memphis Comic Expo. We mentioned it.
Don't fucking even bother. Just give up on us.
He's so angry today.
And thanks for joining us, Mr. Ljunggren.
No problem.
Yep.
Yeah, that actually
Wait, what was it pronounced as?
Ungren.
Ungren?
You said like one grin. It's like Dolph Lundgren.
Sure.
I thought you said that.
He Americanized his name.
But you said it's pronounced Ungren, isn't it? Or Ungren.
Not just Youngren.
We'll just call you the Viking, Chris,
Just
from
stick with
now on.
Youngren.
Chris L. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Chris L.
Yeah, you actually explained a bunch of shit, and I got half of it, and then the other half, I'm just gonna give up on Bitcoin. Is that fair? Is that
Yes,
a fair
yeah.
thing? Yeah.
Unless you want to sink $4,000.
No, done. I'm done with Bitcoin.
Thanks for joining us,
Don't-
guys. It's
this-
been fun.
It's been real.
We'll see you.
Been real fun.
The camera's over there.
I'm used to it being over there. I'm pointing at.
All right, guys.
it's been great.
We'll see you later.
Hey guys, how you doing out there in the hemisphere?
Everybody's doing great. Now back to the Ouya. Ouya.
They were in a galaxy far, far away.
Oh.